everyone. Welcome back. We're diving into some seriously juicy stuff today.
Oh, yeah, definitely buckle up for this one.
This is about Tuface Idibia and Annie Idibia. Remember them?
Yeah, the Afrobeats power couple.
Exactly. They just split after, 23 years together?
Yeah, something like that. It was a long time.
And that's what we're going to deep dive on today, all the details.
Yeah, why now? You know what I mean? They went through so much together.
Yeah, it's crazy. Annie stuck by him through all the drama, infidelity, kids with other women, the whole 9 yards.
It's wild, right? Like you said, 23 years.
And just when Tuface seems to have cleaned up his act, boom, they separate. It's not your typical celeb breakup timeline.
Not at all. It really throws a wrench in the whole they'll work it out eventually narrative we often see with these high-profile couples.
Right. Like you think all the chaos would be what tears them apart, but nope, it's when things seem to be getting better that they call it quits. What do you think's going on there?
Well, it's all speculation, of course.
No.
But you got to think about the emotional toll 23 years of that kind of roller coaster would take on a person. Imagine being Annie.
No, I can't even begin to.
Exactly right. Maybe Tuface's change, even if it was genuine, came too late.
Yeah, the damage was already done.
Exactly. The hurt, the resentment, the constant media scrutiny, trying to keep up appearances in the Afrobeats world where image is everything.
Oh, totally. Especially in that scene, it's all about projecting a certain lifestyle.
Exactly. So it's maybe it all just became too much for Annie,
Yeah. I mean, it makes you think, can trust ever really be fully rebuilt once it's been broken that many times?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's the foundation of any relationship, and when it's shattered, it's like trying to piece together a broken vest.
Ooh, that's a good analogy.
Right.
Yeah.
You can glue it back together, but the cracks are always going to be there.
So true.
But there's another layer to this, too,
Okay, tell me.
We got to think about Annie's personal journey over these 23 years. People change, they grow, they evolve.
Especially over that long of a time.
Exactly. Think about it. Maybe she achieved greater financial independence, her social circles changed, her priorities shifted.
Oh, yeah. She probably isn't the same person she was at the beginning of their relationship.
Right. And maybe she just outgrew the relationship, regardless of Tuface trying to change.
So it becomes less about him and more about her own evolution.
Exactly. Personal growth can be a huge catalyst for major life decisions.
Even ending a decades-long relationship.
Even then. And remember, all this is happening against the backdrop of the Afrobeats world.
Oh, yeah. We can't forget that.
It's a whole different ballgame.
Totally. Remember that article on celebrity culture we talked about last week?
Oh, yeah, the one about the pressures of fame.
Yes. It highlighted how artists, especially in a genre like Afrobeats, face immense pressure to maintain a certain image. It's not just about the music, it's about the lifestyle, the brand.
Absolutely. And that constant scrutiny, those expectations, the comparisons, it all seeps into their personal lives.
So it's not just about Annie and Tuface, it's about the whole ecosystem they exist in.
Exactly. And it's a good reminder that we can't just look at these situations in a vacuum. Relationships exist within a context, shaped by cultural norms, societal pressures, and individual journeys.
Okay, so taking all of that into account, what can we take away from this whole Tuface and Annie situation?
Well, I think the biggest takeaway is that relationships, especially in the spotlight, are complicated.
Understatement of the year.
Right. And even positive changes, like Tuface seemingly turning things around, don't always lead to a happily ever after.
Yeah, it kind of throws a wrench in those fairy tale endings we're all conditioned to expect.
It does. And it brings up some hard-hitting questions. If someone hurts you repeatedly, can you ever truly trust their change? Or is there a point where the past is just too heavy to carry no matter how much someone tries to make amends?
Those are the questions, man. And these aren't just questions for celebs. They're questions we all grapple with in our own relationships.
100%. It's about love, trust, personal growth, and how those things intersect with the world around us.
Absolutely. So we went from Tuface and Annie to some deep reflections on the human condition. That's what I love about these deep dives.
Me too.
Nigerian music, okay?
All right.
Now you're Tubaba.
Sure do.
So Tubaba, legend, icon,
Yeah.
drops this announcement
Uh-huh.
about his separation. And I'm reading this thing, and I'm like, this is more than just your average celebrity breakup.
Yeah, what's going on?
Right. Like we all know, celebrity news, it's a thing.
Of course.
Right. But this one felt, I don't know, different. So that would take a closer look, deep dive into it together and just see
Yeah, let's break it down.
what we can uncover.
Absolutely.
So first off, just to make sure we're all on the same page,
Yeah.
Tubaba, like I said,
Yeah.
a titan in the Nigerian music scene
Huge.
for decades, been putting out hit after hit. Okay, but this statement he released
Yeah.
about separating from his partner, it's, well,
It's a little more than we're used to.
it's not just like, oh, irreconcilable differences. He comes out and says, straight up,
What does he say?
I am innocent of any wrongdoing,
Whoa.
and I will prove it.
Okay.
That's a bold statement.
It is bold. It's definitely interesting to see a celebrity taking such a proactive approach, especially when it comes to, well, potential accusations.
It's almost like he's trying to get ahead of the rumors.
Right, like preemptively addressing something that might not even come up.
Exactly.
It makes you wonder, is this like a calculated PR move?
Uh-huh.
Or is it genuine concern about protecting his reputation?
Yeah, or maybe even a bit of both.
I mean, it's hard to say for sure, but it's definitely a strategy we're seeing more and more these days.
It is.
Especially with how quickly things can spiral online.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
I think about it.
Yeah.
Public perception is everything, especially in the entertainment world.
for sure. One wrong move, one little whisper can really damage a career.
It's true. I mean, remember what happened when,
Oh gosh, yeah.
yeah,
That was a mess.
media was all over, and they didn't really say much.
Right, they mostly stayed silent, let the storm blow over.
Tababa's doing the opposite, putting it all out there right from the start.
Yeah, it's a completely different approach.
So do you think this tactic, this preemptive defense, will it actually work?
It's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It could really go either way.
Yeah.
I mean, on one hand, it shows a certain level of transparency,
Okay.
right? Like he's being upfront, addressing things head on.
Yeah.
It might make people more likely to believe him.
I see.
On the other hand, could it backfire?
Yeah.
Could it fuel more speculation, more rumors?
Oh, for sure.
It's like he's almost daring people to challenge him.
Exactly. I mean, what do you think this all means for Tababa's future?
Oh, man. That's tough to say.
His music, his fans. Will this impact any of that?
I mean, potentially, right? I guess we'll have to see how this unfolds. It definitely throws a curveball into things.
Yeah.
Will he elaborate? Will he provide more details to support his claims? Or is this all we're gonna get?
It's a waiting game now.
It is.
This whole thing, it makes you think, right?
Oh?
Why are we, as the public, so invested in this kind of stuff?
The drama, the intrigue.
Is it just basic curiosity? Or is there something deeper at play?
It's a good question. I mean, we do tend to, I don't know, build these parasocial relationships with celebrities.
Uh-huh.
Like, we feel like we know them, even though we don't. And
Yeah.
so their lives, their ups and downs becomes almost like a form of entertainment for us.
Like a soap opera.
In a way, yeah. And I think in Tababa's case, this whole, I don't know, this approach he's taking, it adds a new layer to it.
A whole other dimension makes you
Yeah.
question things,
Absolutely. Like, how much control do celebrities actually have over their own narratives these days?
Especially in the age of social media and instant news.
It's tough.
Well, listeners, there you have it.
Oh!
Our deep dive into Tubaba's separation announcement. It's a bold strategy, that's for sure. And only time will tell how it all plays out.
True.
But it definitely leaves us with a lot to think about. Why do we follow these stories so closely?
Yeah.
What does it say about our relationship with fame and the people we elevate to that status?
So much to ponder.
Lots to ponder indeed.
Until next time.
See you then.
Bye. Bye.